Hi, I'm Boyd. Welcome to the Freedom Habit. Have you ever had a thought hit your mind? And the next thing you know, it's running like it's in a marathon, taking off. And all of a sudden, you're feeling anxious and triggered, and you're wondering where it came from. And you're starting to have cravings, and you just want it to stop. You somehow want it to stop. Well, today I'm going to show you a couple tips and strategies to take care of that quickly. Most people believe that they have to fight their thoughts, but the truth is, the more we fight them, the stronger they get. And honestly, we were never taught how to deal with unwanted, intrusive thoughts. It wasn't a class in school. Very few of our parents taught us, how to handle that if and when that happens to us in life. And many of us saw our parents react and be triggered by things that happened, and they really didn't know how to handle that kind of stress and those kind of thoughts and emotions when they came up. So we really come into this world without a clue on how to handle those situations. You can use these techniques also to help overcome cravings and addictions, because usually, the first thought in your mind isn't, oh, I want to drink or I want to take a pill. It's usually you're feeling an emotion or a thought, and you're in a situation that's making you feel really uncomfortable, and you just want to escape it. And that's what leads to the addiction, to the craving, to the needing to get away from it, get away from that feeling. Once we get caught in that uncomfortable loop, it just feels like we're being attacked mentally and emotionally, and we just want a way out. The first technique is called the mental safe house. And when you have that intrusive thought, that unwanted thought come up, you visualize putting it in a steel box and just setting it on a shelf, telling your brain, we don't have time for that right now. We'll come back to that later, and we'll deal with that later. And it's much better to do that than to try to argue with it and fight the thought off, because that never works. And you might be, well, aren't you just pushing your emotions and your thoughts away if you do that? No, what you're doing is postponing it. And you're telling your mind, you're telling your brain that you're postponing the thought, you're postponing the time that you're going to deal with this thought. And maybe it'll come up later, and maybe it won't. You never know. The real goal here is to remove the urgency that you feel, and it puts you back into control. It's not actually making an appointment with it later, like, okay, I'll have an appointment with you at 7 o'clock tonight. No, just say, I'll deal with you later. And if it comes up later, then deal with it. If it doesn't, many times, if you get rid of the urgency, that thought really doesn't mean as much as you think it does. It's not as important as it feels at the moment that it arrives. I'm going to tell you why this works, because thought loops fuel anxiety and addiction, and fear and worry. That's, trust me, I know. I lived through that for many, many years. When you interrupt that loop, your brain calms down. And when you stop giving that thought attention, it dissolves. Its power dissolves, at least to some degree, maybe not 100%, but probably 80%. Calms down, dissolves, and it accepts the fact that it's not that important, and you'll deal with it some other time. When you bring yourself back to the present moment, those old patterns lose their power. The second tip is physical activity, because physical activity anchors the mind. Have you ever noticed when you do something physical or creative that your mind stops obsessing in the moment about the future or something that happened in the past? This is why taking a walk, lifting weights, cleaning, writing, drawing, anything that distracts you, anything that is time consuming and you can just focus directly on that, really takes away that destructive thought pattern. Anytime and anything that can put you in the zone and in the flow state will automatically reduce, if not nullify, those intrusive, unwanted thoughts. And here's the third practical tip. Name your brain. I happen to call my brain Biff. Name it something kind of silly or something that's not real meaningful to you, because it lessens the importance of what your brain is doing to you. It lessens the importance of the thoughts and the emotions that it's throwing at you. Don't only name your brain, but talk to it. Say, thanks for trying to protect me, Biff. I appreciate it. But we're safe right now, and I don't have time to worry about that. We'll get back to it later. It's almost like the safe box method, except you're naming your brain and you're putting it in its place, and letting it know that Biff is not running the show. You're in charge. All right, so there are 3 quick tips for you to take control when those intrusive, unwanted thoughts come a knocking. And remember, I'm going to read this one because I don't have it memorized. You are not your thoughts. You don't take power away from a thought by solving it. You take power away by showing your brain that it doesn't control your attention any longer, that you are in control. I hope this helped you. Have a great day.